Hi, I'm Amanda McCoy Flanagan.
And I'm Ginny Oliva Smith. Welcome to Soul Rising.
On this podcast, you'll hear honest, off-the-cuff, vulnerable conversations about all things love, loss, and connection.
Deep and meaningful conversations sure to pull at your heartstrings and enlighten your soul.
Again, welcome. It's time to let your soul rise.
Do you sense your calling, but feel awkward moving into it? Does embodying your creativity and natural-born gifts feel odd to you? Do you feel slightly removed from the work you are doing or downplay your achievements? Do you feel like an imposter, like you are pretending to be someone that you are not? Are you a poser? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 13, Soul Rising Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. We're so happy to be with you.
Yes,
Lucky 13. It's my lucky number anyway. Lucky 13.
Number 13.
Yeah.
I've heard some interesting things about 13.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. My kids just recently realized too. They're like, "Is there really not a 13th floor at a hotel?" I was like, "Well, there is, but they don't put it on the elevator because of all these things about not being lucky." And it's very fascinating that it took on that identity because I recently heard that it is the number that represents divine feminine energy. So it's interesting that we've had it turn into this like unlucky, weird, dark.
Oh,
weird
yeah,
thing.
interesting, but totally
Cheryl, interesting and not at all.
unsurprising. Yes.
Interesting, and no, it isn't, Ginny. Women also didn't vote, so there's that.
Yeah, I actually read something about that. I think maybe it was like around last Halloween or something about the number 13 being this like spooky, unlucky number and how it was related to, it was like, you know, during like the Salem witch trials and trying to get rid of all of those like witchy energies or AKA intuition that the female seems to be
Tied into?
Yeah, the female seems to have the lock on.
That's all bad news, people. Get rid of that.
Let's just slash that number and pretend like it never existed.
Yes, it's so bad.
Because those females are so bad.
They're
scary.
so emotional and bad and scary.
So
I got married June 13th.
really.
Tom and I's first date was on the 13th. We got married on the 13th. My volleyball number growing up was 13.
Awesome. That is super cool. I love it. So episode 13. So so we're talking about imposter syndrome today. Most of you probably know what imposter syndrome is. I'm going to give just a quick little definition of it for those who have never heard of it. It's the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. Or a behavioral health phenomenon described as self-doubt of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals. And Ginny was doing some research and telling me about these crazy big names who suffer from this.
This is such a common thing. And again, not amongst people like, I know myself. There are times I'm like, oh, I really have no business doing this thing I'm trying to do. Whatever it is. It's happened to me for years. But never in a million years do I think that somebody like Michelle Obama, Albert Einstein.
Wow.
Yeah, that one blew my mind because it's like there were points where he was like, this is not as good as we think it is. Serena Williams was another one. Tom Hanks, Tina Fey.
Wow.
Lady Gaga. Wow. I'm like, what? A lot of artists, oddly enough. A lot of artists, a lot of creative people, but also a lot of just very high achieving people. It really is prevalent in people that are going for a master's degree, and it's even more prevalent in people working on a PhD. So it's like
the more success you have, maybe the more this thing creeps in.
It is, and there's just this sense of like there's almost like this isn't happening because you're causing it to happen or because your talent or skill is even that it's not equal to the thing you're accomplishing. And it's...
But something else is doing it.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's not
luck.
you. Or you
It's
got
not
luck, or
you.
you knew somebody.
Yeah. You're in your mind, you're like, there's no way that I had what it took to get this PhD or to get this whatever, to do this thing. Maya Angelou.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I totally thought of you when I read that because she was saying that it wasn't after book 1 either or book 2. It was after book 16.
Wow.
That she still had this sense of, well, this will be the time they're going to finally figure me out, that I'm a fraud, that I'm not really a good author.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't it?
So today we're going to talk about what it is. If you suffer from it, we're going to sort of identify, talk about it, where it comes from, where it stems from, how to stop doubting your calling. So we did an episode 4 called What's Your Purpose? And that is a really great one to figure out, to define, to step into your light, step into whatever you're supposed to be here to do, right? Yeah. Now this is sort of like, okay, once you know that, once you've identified that and like you're doing it, Now, why do you feel like you don't deserve it or that it's not really you doing it? We're going to get into all this stuff. And then I also want to talk about how it could serve you, because I'm a big believer that the negative stuff that we perceive as negative also serves us in some way.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And whether that be that it's preserving safety, or whether it be that it's keeping an ego in check, or whether it is, there is always a piece of it that is there that we can at least turn into, right? We can transmute, hopefully.
Yeah, so how can I use this thing to serve me so that I stop resisting it so much or judging myself so harshly about it? Like, oh my God, why can't I just feel good? Why can't I just feel like I deserve, when I got sober, I used this analogy. I said, if Mary across the street from me can be happy, her kids are healthy, they're doing good, everything's good. She's got the 2 cars, she's got the dog, she's walking the white fluffy dog, she's happy, she's good, life is good. Why can't I also step into that, that deserving space, right? Even if I have all the gifts and prizes, why don't I feel as good as she does? And most likely she doesn't.
Good chance Mary didn't.
Good chance. Yeah, good chance Mary's, in my mind, Mary is doing awesome and feeling great.
Right. She might have been
slamming it.
Pulling shooters from the tree while she was walking the dog.
Exactly.
Really, I heard someone talk about, they were like, oh, everyone thought they were a stay-at-home mom and they thought they had the greatest life, and would go to walk the dog.
Them in the tree?
They would hide the shooter. Yeah. I was like, that's brilliant. Wow. Only an alcoholic would say, right? I'm like, that's brilliant. I thought I was good, hiding it behind the laundry detergent. But you, Mary, you have your shit together on this drinking game. Hiding it in a tree while walking the white fluffy dog. That's
amazing. That's freaking amazing.
Dang.
Ginny and I will tell you some stories about how it shows up for us. But like, where do you think this comes from?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's only been being discussed. It's not like for, a really, really long time. I'm going to say a wrong date here, but I feel like it was maybe like the 80s even, that psychologically people were talking about it. There's a few different theories out there. There had been discussions about other people who are more predisposed to it.
Okay.
It was like, is there somebody else who might be more likely to feel this? And the numbers show anybody who's a minority of any type. So that doesn't necessarily mean minority. It could be you're the only Black person who works in a space or doing something. It could be you're the only white person that works in a certain field. It could be that you're gay. It could be that you're straight. It could be, all the things. Anybody who is a minority, a female working in a world where there's mainly men.
So like not fitting in, like not belonging?
Yep, like I'm not belonging. You must have been lucky to get here.
Yeah, I don't belong. I don't truly belong
here. You don't truly belong here. You must have gotten
Or
really
maybe
lucky.
I'm only here because I'm a minority and I needed to fill a quota.
Correct. Minorities suffer from this a lot.
Yeah.
That, and then I had also heard people who grew up, 2 different types of scenarios where either they had an extremely critical parent who constantly was like, this isn't good enough type situation. Or somebody who grew up with mixed messages. The way it was explained was like, you had somebody at one moment saying, oh, wow, that's really great. Like, great job on the science project. But, next time maybe you could add more rocks or whatever. That it's, you get the add a girl and then the, but you're not quite hitting the mark.
So you're good, but you're not good enough.
Exactly. You're good, but you're not good enough. So people who grew up in that kind of environment.
Yeah, that'll really mess with your head.
It definitely will mess with your head. And I think that that's part of this. Even thinking about people, my amazing niece Jasmine just got a PhD this last year in physical therapy, and thinking of what the level of work and dedication and time and everything, like to think that somebody in that position doubts. Like,
yeah, like you see, you have the diploma in front of you.
Exactly. And you put the hours in. You lost the sleep. You did all of you passed the test. It's all right there. But to still feel like, well, it was just by luck. Not because I'm worthy. Not because I genuinely hold on to the things that it takes to have this accolade or to have this piece of paper.
Well, maybe also psychologically we hold ourselves back from stepping into that space because then what's the expectation?
Oh, God. Well, yeah. Like, what's the bar? Yeah. Am I going to be able to meet next time? If the bar is here now, if I met this now, there's no way I could do it a second time. There's no way I could do it
better.
Or do it better. I can't. There's no way I'm going to grow past that. This was a lucky break.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about my book. And
so good.
I just won an award for it a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, congratulations, Amanda. She won the gold. She didn't win. She won the gold, you guys. You've got to check her book out.
Thank you. And I definitely have feelings around my book, because I keep talking about how it was so divinely inspired.
Right.
And it was.
Yeah.
But and I know it's a good book. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, oh, I don't think it's good. I don't think it deserves that gold. I do think it deserved it. I think it's a fantastic
Really
book.
good, yeah.
But I'm not sold on the idea that it came from me. And I'm not so sure that I'm going to be able to do it again.
To replicate that. Yeah, that's imposter
huge
syndrome.
fear.
Yeah.
And I'm like waiting for this like divine hit, this like big, massive next download to do it. And the truth is, it was divinely inspired, and it was my higher self, and it was me.
Still came through you.
In conjunction with each other.
Exactly.
I had to be open to it. I had to embrace it, and then I had to allow it to flow through me, and then get it down, and then edit it 65,000 times, right? Like,
And then some more.
yeah.
And then someone else had to edit it.
And then I had 2 editors on top of that.
2 editors.
So I have a developmental editor who is the person who looks at the development of the story, how it's traveling along. You know, there are holes here. Does this make sense? All that. Then after it's done, then it goes to the proof editor. And the proof editor does all the grammar. She checks sentence structure. She'll make tweaks here and there. She doesn't really call out like any developmental issues unless they're glaring. But I suffer from this so much to the point where I will be reading my book and I'll be like, wow, that's good. Like, that's a good sentence. Like,
There's no way I wrote that.
there's no way I wrote that. I will go back to the version that was sent to the proof editor before she worked on it
See?
to check, was that me
Or was that the
or
editor?
was that her?
You see? I mean, that's exactly what that is.
And very
100%.
often it's me, actually. More
Yeah.
often than not. The
It's you.
past I maybe I've checked like 10.
And and even after knowing that, after 2 or 3, you still had it in you to go, let me go look
I
to
still
see
have
if
to
that
look,
was
and I'll
me.
still do it. I'll probably do it next time I read it. I'll probably say, is that me? And the truth is, even if it was her, that's okay.
Right.
I don't have to discount my ability as a writer.
Right.
Because she made some things better. And I can keep myself in check, right? I was thinking as you were talking about these people and their success, you know, does imposter syndrome provide a measure of humility as well? That's
I'm
how
sure.
I think maybe it serves us.
That fine balance, you guys, and everything, right? It's a constant, all of us are on that hunt for ourselves and the balance of being at a point of not being delusional about our gifts and what we're here to do on this earth, and also not being self-destructive.
Yes.
It's a crazy balance. I know I'm searching for it today, like this morning. I was like, hey,
Tell us about it.
balance. Where are you, bitch? Where are you? Because I was trying to meditate. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to meditate today. And my brain goes, who am I to think I can meditate? I just had 600 thoughts. Like, I can't even stay focused. But just that sense of trying to make sure that I'm not destroying my own path because I'm convinced I'm not good enough. I do this right now. I'm building a business, trying to run a business for the first time. And believe me, 100 times a day, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't go to school for business. You didn't have an apprentice where you're learning how to do this furniture. Like, who do you think you are? Like, in that sense,
Right? That's the underlying question. Who do you think you are to be doing?
Yes, to be doing
Why
this.
me?
Yeah, why me? And am I completely off my rocker, batshit crazy that I think that I can? So, but it also caused me to look back and say, yeah, but you've done this too. You worked in a career of 18 years, and I. Gosh, boy, I definitely had the chance to feel that. And I learned that business by working in it. And I know it well. I really do. But like, I ended up my last job here surrounded in some of the most brilliant, to this day, I'll say it, man, some of the most brilliant people I've ever been around. Some of the most gifted in that world of lighting, for sure. Most of them have degrees or master's degrees in engineering. And I was the only person in that group of people that wasn't educated the way they were. But I had more time in the industry than a few of them, quite a few of them. And I was really good at what I did. But yes, coming back to that space of like, where do I allow myself to feel and know and acknowledge and be in all of those gifts without the doubt and without becoming my own roadblock? Also, how do I make sure I'm not being delusional? Because
yes, that I'm this great, you know,
so
like,
fucking great.
let's put it in perspective, people. Yeah, I won the Gold Colorado Independent Publishers Award. I did not win
it's still awesome.
a Nobel Prize. Okay. Yeah. So I can appreciate, so this is the whole balance piece. I can appreciate where I'm at. I can call myself a writer. I could call myself a writer if I don't even publish a book. I can call myself a runner if I don't run a marathon. I can call myself these things. It's not being an imposter. So the level of success doesn't qualify you necessarily to call yourself something or to believe that you are something. If it's coming from your true self, if it's coming from your authenticity, it is true and it's real, and you are not an imposter and you're not a poser. And you also don't need to do any of this stuff perfectly. It's not like you have to hit this bar and then say, okay, now I am legitimate. Now I'm a legit furniture pusher, rehabber, flipper, whatever.
Successfully.
Yeah, like that success lies within your own, your own perception, your own belief of yourself.
Yeah. Or even the way that you're looking at something. I would have those moments. And then I also had a moment, my nephew came, he popped through town last night. He was coming to or 2 nights ago to the Denver game. And we were discussing this. And we're like, yeah, you were like in a like corporate world for a long time. And his friend's like, hey, you broke out of the Matrix. And I was like,
yeah, you did.
I laughed, right? But even in that, even if it is in the period of time of this other chunk of life I've gotten to experience right now, like completely different, that is success.
Yeah.
That is success, like crazy level, because never in a million years did I even think it was a possibility to get this far. For you guys out there, for you, that person that just got the promotion that you don't think you deserve, for you that just got the recognition, you know, for whatever it is, and you sit there and go, oh my God, there's no way, or you finished your fitness training, whatever it is, you do deserve it. And you did put the work in and it did come to you because of the fact that you do hold these gifts. It's not some lucky break. It's not,
Instead of saying, why me? How about we say, why not me?
Why not me?
Why not? Why can't I have the same thing as her? I can.
Yes.
As Mary. I'm talking about Mary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be these big things. Like, right, like we're talking about like big high level stuff, success here, right? Like it could be being a good mom.
Oh my God.
Being a good wife.
Jeez.
Being a good daughter.
Yes.
Being a good cook.
friend, a good cook.
I fold a mean basket of laundry. You know what I mean? Like,
embarrassed. I keep my house in order. Oh, I do that to myself. I'm like, I'm a mess. I'm a wreck. I'm like, oh, geez, the laundry's never done. And I heard Mel Robbins, do you listen to her? She's amazing. She was talking about how that she looks at that as a sign that she's failing all the time. And like
the laundry?
Yes. It's a huge thing for people, women especially.
It never friggin' ends.
It never ends. And the lady was like, we need to just recognize everything's in a cycle, just like life, that it doesn't indicate your success.
It doesn't indicate your worth, all this
worth.
Outside stuff. And that's what I guess it comes down to, getting the mixed messages as a kid that you're not good enough. It's planting this seed in you that you are not enough, that you are not worthy, that you are not deserving, that you are not capable, right? Like, did the research also show about people that get messages from their parents that like they don't trust them to be able to do something?
I can almost guarantee you that's got to be in there, but I didn't see much. I didn't get to hear much of that. But the mixed message, I mean,
if your parents are doubting you, you're going to doubt yourself, right?
Of course you are. They keep you alive.
Yeah, that's all that we see. We believe what our parents tell us and show us. We've heard that kids are what we tell them they are. You know, kids are also what we show them we are.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? That's a whole other episode, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's so true.
So this work is not just for you out there. And this is the whole point of why Ginny and I do in this show. It's because, yes, we want you to feel good. We want you to have the personal development. We want you to feel healed. But it's because it then ripples out to everybody else. So you healing this imposter syndrome and getting to a place where you believe in yourself and that you know that you are worthy and that you are deserving and that you are good. It's because it's going to help the whole planet.
Of course,
just your family.
Need your gifts.
Yes.
We need your gifts, whatever those things are. Like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to be something so like huge on the scale or what we think is. Like being present even as a mother is massive. And yes, you can do it. It could be the smallest thing. It could be something bigger. But knowing this is happening and it is successfully doing its thing, and even if it is that your kids came home healthy today and that they're fed and that you got some laundry done and that you had some time for yourself, that happened because you deserve it and you're capable of making it happen, not by luck. Not by luck.
Exactly, because you did it, because it was something in you. The light inside of you was shining out. I remember when I was writing, and I said to Jim, my husband, I said, even if I'm saying the same thing as 30 other people out there, or Ginny, even if you're painting the same piece of furniture as 20 other people out there, our own unique flair, our own unique energy that we're putting behind the message or the thing or the experience or whatever we're gifting to the world, that's what makes it unique.
Absolutely.
That's what makes me not just another mouthpiece saying the same thing as everybody else. Because let's go back to Mary. Mary can hear the same message from 5 people, but for some reason, one person's message is going to resonate more than the other 4, right?
Just because of the delivery, because of the vehicle that it's coming in.
Yes.
And that's why it matters, because we all have a different lens. It's the same way you can have a ray of light shining through something, and the lens that it's shining through is going to change the way it bends.
So you're
can
not
change
being an
the way you see it.
imposter if you're doing something that's very similar to a lot of other people. And I think a lot of creators suffer with that.
That was a big thing. I don't know if I'd mentioned that already or not, but that creative people suffer from this. Just the levels are insane. You know, and you'll again, Tina Fey, Tom Hanks, Lady Gaga. There's people that they suffer from this a lot.
And also think about it too, the creators, the artists, right? They do have that darker side to them very
geez,
often
yeah.
because very often troubled childhoods.
Yes. Troubled childhoods, you know, all the just deeper feelings, feeling more, grief,
The
all
emotions.
all the emotions.
All this stuff. Heavy stuff. So it comes out in this way. And it's a gift, right? I look at the experiences that I went through as a gift because it's given me this unique message to give to somebody that they're only maybe going to hear it because it's coming from me and my delivery.
Right.
And my personal experiences
It's the
tied to it.
frequency that we're on.
It's all about the frequency.
It's like a radio station. If you're sitting there, you're trying to like tune in. I'm dating myself, people. I know, but like in the car, you know. I mean, you're younger than me, but you still remember that, right?
Yeah,
Where
you
you
only
had
4 years younger.
where you had to like, where you're turning the knob,
Yeah,
not even like
totally.
the digital, where you're turning the knob.
No, I had analog.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. And there's certain point. There's
I had
static.
a record
there's
player,
static.
Ginny. I had a record player in second grade, all right?
Good. See, all right. But you also had a cool older brother, so that'll do it.
Yes,
I
you did.
I have a cool older brother
Yes,
too.
you
What
do.
got me listening to crazy stuff. But yeah, just that you might be the frequency.
Yes.
You might be the place that it comes in clearly finally. The same way that we could be listening to the radio and it comes in clearly while we're in Castle Rock, but when we leave here, the frequency diminishes. You're that frequency for those people on that frequency.
That is your importance. That is your worth. Just by being alive and being you and being who you are, whatever you're doing out there in the world, whether it's writing or painting or running or baking or whatever
your
it
job is too, whatever it is. And if you're working, it doesn't matter if you're at the gas station, if you're a principal,
if you're the president of the United States, anybody across the entire spectrum, whatever it is that you're doing, you are not an imposter because you are bringing it in your own way.
Yes. I've not heard a ton of people talk about this that often. We both experience it in different forms of our life right now. And it's large enough in my life that it made me stop to recognize, like, okay, like, well, I had all of this I built up to this point. What part of me would think I couldn't do this? Like, I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
I am doing
You are
it.
doing
And
it.
it's the same with you guys. You know, if it is that you're finishing up that teaching degree or whatever it is, you're doing it.
The proof is in the pudding, people.
Yeah.
It's in black and white in front of you. We're going to talk about that a little bit in the challenge leader and how you can really see that.
Yes.
But it is happening. You are doing it. You know, I got a couple of bad reviews on my book, by the way.
You did?
Yeah. Sarah, I'm not sure who you are.
Sarah, are you listening?
I have an idea, Sarah, and I'm not sure Sarah's your real name.
Yeah, as something says that it might not be.
Anyway,
Crazy.
just give me 1 star on Amazon, which is messing up my streak, Sarah. Come on,
Yeah,
come on, help a sister
Mission
out. Let's go.
accomplished, Sarah.
I'm sorry, whatever I did. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. You don't have to like
Sarah
me.
might have just had a bad day. Yeah, we know not
It's
everyone
fine.
isn't like us.
Sarah doesn't have
What
to
was
like
her
me.
deal? What did she say?
She said drama was the name of her post, and she said that this book is all about the author's feelings. It's a memoir. And also that, this was good. I wish I could reply to people who leave reviews because I wanted to really commend her for this amazing insult.
Can't wait.
She
It was a
said-
great insult. Okay.
She said, I think she needs to find a safe place.
Oh, splash pad. It's hilarious. You're so witty.
That's amazing, Sarah. And she said she couldn't finish it, which is the ultimate insult in the book, is when you don't finish it. Like a good book,
Yeah.
determined like you finish, you read the whole thing. Anyway, that happened. And then I got a bad review. I got a 3-star, which I actually fought, and it's now 4 stars because I don't think they understood the genre completely. Because typical memoirs go in a chronological order.
Yes.
Mine does not go in a chronological order purposefully.
Yeah, you did that. That's right.
And the lessons are more chronological than the timeline of my life doesn't
Exactly.
matter so much because it's not
Yes.
really a straight memoir. And I think if it's listed as a memoir, the reviewer thinks that they're reading a
It's
memoir.
simple, right.
And there's a couple of criteria that a memoir must hit. So I understand why she gave me the review she did.
Sure.
She used words like haphazardly, scrambled. You know, she used some words in there because the timeline was a little jumbled. crumbled and she was confused because she was looking at it in a timeline.
From a standpoint that was a memoir only, even though it's definitely a guide.
It's like it's like a new genre. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a memoir / personal development book / self-help / spiritual mind body. So it's like a lot of different things in one. Anyway, those things rocked me.
Did they?
In the beginning, when I was just like, wow. It made me feel like, what am I doing?
Even if you had 25 good ones first,
one
right?
why is it like that? That negative energy, just like you can have 25 accolades and one star, and that one star is the one you think about.
That you can't get your eye off of either, or your mind or your spirit or your,
laser focused on that.
Yeah, almost like you want to undo it. And we focus all that energy on something that doesn't need to be undone, first of all. Second of all, cannot be.
Yeah.
But we could, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you've got the 55 stars.
Yeah. And then another thing that happened around the whole thing that I'm trying to do is a friend posted something on Facebook, and
what was her name? Sarah.
Sarah unfollowed me a long time ago.
Wasn't her.
So this person was like pouring his heart out basically about grief, and it was related to a hot topic, a hot button topic right now, an issue. And my knee-jerk reaction was one of frustration, and I replied in a way of it wasn't meant to spark any sort of political heat. It wasn't meant. It was just like oh my God, like I can't believe this is still going on type of thing, right? And I didn't realize this person feels the other way, right? Feels a certain way. And he came back and said, listen, you can have your beliefs or whatever, which I wasn't even trying to espouse my beliefs, but it seemed that way. And he said, but I'm concerned about you as an aspiring author and somebody who is in this field that's trying to help people with their spiritual and emotional development, especially around loss, that was your reaction.
Do you knew this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know each other. We're friends. We're cool. Everything's cool. Everything's cool now. It always was cool.
But it threw you off track.
But instead of being like, what who is he? No, I was like, oh my God, he's right.
Oh,
how could I even be in this arena if I didn't even stop to think how that comment was going to affect him? How selfish.
Like super jarring.
How insensitive of me to say something that might affect him in this way.
You didn't even know.
I didn't really know how he felt about it, but I kind of knew. I kind of know his persona.
Sure.
I kind of sensed it, and I did it anyway. But it wasn't my intention to spark anything. It just was like this quick sense inside of that might not be right, but I did it anyway. So that threw me more than the reviews. That threw
because,
me.
well, you know him, but did it cause you to be like, am I really, should I be doing this?
Yes.
Did it cause you to, did it?
100%. I cried. I actually cried over that because I was like, not crying about what this person thinks about me. I'm crying about, oh my God, can I do this? It just
am I really
me.
cut out for this?
Shook me to my core. Exactly. I am an imposter. I think I have a thing to say and to teach and to help people, but maybe I don't. Because if that was my knee-jerk reaction without thinking about how he would feel,
right,
then I'm definitely not cut out for this work.
And and I could see. My gosh, yeah, that's a tough thing.
Yeah, it was hard to grapple with, and I basically came to that self-compassionate place of saying, you know what, I am a human being,
right,
and I'm going to have frustrations, and I'm going to feel. I mean, look at all the people out there with big names who do things like this very often, right?
Yeah.
They say things, they come out with messages, they make statements about certain things that later they have to apologize for.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
And they say, I was not myself. I was off my game. I was whatever. So I have to realize that I'm not at the pinnacle, and I never probably will be because we're always growing and changing,
right,
of my own personal development. Like we say all the time, we're growing with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which is exactly the whole thing, man. That's what we're trying to do with you guys, is have that human connection, because lately it feels like it's just such a more intense, deepened, heightened time of it. So that's the whole point of what we're doing in all of this. And Amanda and I both were just thinking, if we could be feeling this, and I know for me, it's something that I genuinely believe. I'm on a big kick right now, which I don't know. I'm like, why am I asking for this? Because I'm on a big kick of really trying to get rid of the blocks that I've had in there that aren't serving me anymore. The things that I know that will hold me back from expanding to the most that I can be, which I keep genuinely, and I believe it when I say it, and I mean it, that I want to be at a point where I'm living my life, that I leave the most of myself here, that I do that. And I'm suffering with some of these things, like with this imposter syndrome of being like, where you have this momentum built up, whatever it is, towards this new part of you that you're going to give to the world, and you stop yourself because it's like, I don't think I'm not cut out for this. Like, I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah, it's a way of keeping ourselves small, maybe to protect us from, like we said, what's the expectation? So now I've won a gold medal. Now my next book has to be even better.
Right. And I was lucky to begin with.
Exactly.
I think there's that thought process. I was lucky to begin with. And
there's no way that my next book is going to.
There's no way. Right.
And maybe it won't be. And that's okay.
Right. And that's okay.
It makes me a writer. It still makes me an author. It still makes you a beautiful artist, a furniture artist, a creator, a painter, even if one piece doesn't come out
the way that
you deem it, but in somebody else's eyes, it could be exactly what they want and perfect.
Exactly. Or if I'm not quite where it is that I think I should be, it's like, okay, well, who do you think you are? Doing something so radically different from what you've done before. And that's the other part of it. You might be saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year for my health. And you might be starting on that in a weekend or two, a few days in, going, who do I think I am? I don't have it in me to be able to do this. And that's what we're getting at, because it feels like more people are having the struggle with one thing or another than anybody really talks about.
And the truth is, like, I think we try a lot of things on in life.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, Ginny and I before the show, we were talking about high school, being like the chameleon, being like the poser. Like, oh, I want to fit in with this group, and then I want to fit in with that one. I was telling her a story. I was like always a younger kid hanging out with older kids, and one of my older friends, she was into the Grateful Dead. When we were like, she was like 13 or 14, and I was like 10 or And the next time we went on vacation, I showed up in a Grateful Dead shirt. And she's like, you're such a poser. You don't even listen to the Grateful Dead. And I didn't, But that sort of, I guess, planted the seed that, like, I had to know every Jerry Garcia song in order to wear the Grateful Dead shirt.
It gave you the mindset. Yeah, or else you were a poser.
And I was trying things on. Then in high school, my hair was like black. It was like an eggplant color. And I tried to fit in with like the emo. And, and then if that didn't work, then I tried something else. I've always had a million different groups of friends and stuff like that, right? So it's not so much about being an imposter or being a poser. It's searching, like you said, for where do I fit in? What feels the most authentic to my soul?
That's ultimately what it is. What am I here to do? Which also translates to who am I?
Exactly.
The
ultimate and esoteric question, right, of our lifetime.
Yep. Who am I? And it's no wonder that we sit there and go, oh, I'm this. So, no, you're not. Oh, I'm now this, I'm this person. I'm a great father. I'm a great whatever it is. No, you're not. Again, that fear or that sense of somebody saying you are fully just... You've been able to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. You've somehow gotten yourself right where you are now, but this didn't happen by you. This happened because you got luckier.
And this all comes back down, I guess, to like judgment. Judging each other. Am I going to look like an imposter in their eyes? And then that turns inward. And do I feel like an imposter to myself? Am I judging myself?
Yep. Which is a big emphatic yes for me.
Yes. Always. But then again, it also serves us, right? Again, the humility, like it keeps us in check. Grounded.
Yeah.
If I'm constantly riding high on this, oh, look how great I am. My ego, we us humans really walk that fine line.
It is such a fine line.
Oh my gosh. That ego can just spin right out of control at the drop of a hat.
And you hear those things. Like, I always find it interesting when people talk about like what a narcissist is and where that kind of stems from, right? That it's not genuine. It's not like, oh yeah, well, they're fully thinking of themselves. But yes, they're fully thinking of themselves because they actually just have this like insane inner hate.
Yes.
Right? But again, ego, like this part of just our personalities and our egos that...
It's all the overcompensation.
Yes.
Is the ego. So it all comes down to healing that self-judgment and that low self-worth and those feelings of inadequacy that was pretty much implanted in us as children.
Yes. And unintentionally, but still there. It's crazy how much those things stay with us.
And I don't need to judge myself. If I'm showing up in every area of my life that I am trying to be or do or whatever, experience something or whatever. If I'm showing up true to my heart and my soul and the mission that I have to do on earth, why I'm here, I don't have to doubt that authenticity. or question my ability or my skill, because just showing up in my truth is enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes me enough. Not the prize, not the award,
Just having,
not the $1 million salary.
Yeah, letting yourself be in it fully as you're embodying everything that you are, letting yourself fully be here because you deserve it.
You
because
cannot
you're
be an imposter when you're showing up in that energy.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're showing up exactly who you are, and who you're meant to be and who we need you to be, that gift of who you are. But it's, again, we've said it once, we've said it more than that, but that core of the core of this, it seems. And hey, by the way, like, hit us up with comments, leave some comments, reach out to us. We are accessible in many places because we'd love to hear what you think about it. But the more I'm hearing, the more I'm listening to other people, the more we're sitting there talking about it. At the core of it is this self-worth thing.
That's what it all comes down to. Yeah. And fear.
Yes.
Fear. I mean, we didn't even touch on fear with this. It's the fear that I'm not going to be good enough in somebody else's eyes. So I tell myself I'm not good.
Right.
Or that I'm not going to be able to achieve what I think they want from me. So I keep myself small in a way to protect myself.
And if I do it, it's not because I deserved it. It was luck.
Yes.
It's like this happened. Yeah. I didn't deserve for this to happen. That's the biggest part when they talk about this imposter syndrome, even if the black and white tells you that you do, that the feeling is still a very real thing. Even just the facts alone aren't even enough to kind of like shake you out of it. But I feel like there's also ways that we can work through them. I think that there's probably a lot of ways we can work through them. And that's going to be, at least for myself, I know after today, I'm like, all right, there's some things I need to try. Like in terms of, first off, acknowledging it. I think if you can be acknowledging it, that's the first step, right? Like being able to say, hey, wow, you know what? I didn't even realize this is probably imposter syndrome. Me not really being like, oh gosh, I deserve this promotion I just got, or I'm going to be able to do it. This is imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and then becoming aware of it and identifying, like, where is this stemming from? Like, why do I feel like, why is the person next to me capable and the cubicle next to me, they're doing a great job and they're fine and they got it, but I don't. Most likely they don't think they got it. Most likely they're thinking and feeling the same thing, because I think it's a human emotion to feel this way in order to keep us striving. Again, how can it serve me? That humility keeps me striving to be better. If I got it, if I'm good, if I'm at the top of my game, then what? Our human spirits... Then you die. Then you die. Our souls and our spirits just want to keep growing and healing and striving and being better and better. So imposter syndrome serves me.
Right. And we could definitely take the pieces from that.
As long as it doesn't paralyze me.
As long as it doesn't paralyze us, and as long as we can see what it is, know what it is, and say, okay, you know what? There's parts of this that are actually going to serve me. And what are those things? What are the truths here too? It's like, well, what part of this is actually true? Do I need to be better? Maybe at this one piece. Yeah. And also being willing though to look at and really, really in black and white, look at the truths of it, the positives of it. Like, hey, you know what? I did write a book. It's right in front of my face. Like it's on it's on bookshelves. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, I have my little folder with my prize right there where I work. Every time I work in my dining room, when I walk in my dining room, it's right there on my buffet. So I could remind myself, because some days we're going to need that.
Oh my God.
We're not going to be on the beam all the time.
No. And even if you're just starting, also that sense of like, for myself, I am a furniture artist. I am an entrepreneur. I am a business owner. Because the truth of the matter is, that's exactly right. I am.
But you're going to get better, and you're going to get better, and you're going to get better.
Yep.
So like keeping it within the range of where you're at, right? Like I'm an independent, self-published author. Like that's the pond I'm swimming in right now.
That's right.
With other people. I am connecting and communicating with people who are on my level, have a few thousand Instagram followers, or just, maybe wrote their first book, or they have a couple of books. They're trying to connect with other people. Staying in my pond with my ducks and my friends, and just being like, that's okay. I'm good here.
Yes.
This is where I'm real. This is where I'm true. This is really where I'm at. Right. Not putting myself below that, not taking myself out of the pond. Right. And not going swimming in the ocean. Not ready. Yet. Not ready. Come on. I don't know. Am I metaphor Amanda today? It's metaphor Ginny.
Yes. You get to be metaphor Amanda today.
not
I love
ready for the waves of the ocean. I like my little pond and little, what do you call
it's
those?
good. It's good. I know these
Little
waves.
ripples,
Yeah.
ripples. I'm hanging out in the ripples. I like
Yes.
these waves. But striving and continuing that someday I will get better. So it
Absolutely.
serves me in some way. But again, we don't want to get stuck in it. We don't want it to hold us back and create anxiety. That's how I know that it's happening. How do we know? We say become aware. Anxiety
Big time.
is like my cue for so many things. Like I don't ever want it to really go away. And I don't want my fear to go away. Like again, it serves me. I don't want to live in it. I don't want to be in it all the time. It's a cue.
Absolutely. It's a huge indicator. It's like the light. Go this way. Like when you're on the road. I'll step in as metaphor, Ginny, for just a sec.
There we go. Let's go. Lay it on me, girl.
No, it just happened yesterday. I was driving through Crystal Valley and I'm like, what the heck is happening? Why is traffic slowing down for no reason? And then you see the sign and it's got the like, oh, this lane is ending. Like there's that indicator and it's flashing, That's what our anxiety and our fear generally, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? But it's always supposed
just to course correct.
Just to course correct.
correction.
It's not meant to be like, let me sit here in front of the sign for the next 6 days and wonder why.
Yeah.
Why is this sign
this
here?
lane ended on me?
What happened?
Damn lane.
What are these people doing? No, it's just a sign. Hey, this is going to happen. Just be aware. Chop, chop, keep moving. But like, it's an indicator. It's not meant to be, we're not supposed to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, oh, I don't ever want to feel imposter syndrome, or I don't ever want to feel anxiety, or I don't ever want to feel fear, I don't ever want to feel small, how can you embrace that and use it for a sign to course correct?
Exactly.
That's what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
Because we're human beings, right? Having a
Human experience.
Yeah. Spiritual beings, having human
experience.
So like our spirits is the indicator. Our spirit, our soul is the
Higher
little
self.
small voice inside, right? That's saying like, wait a minute. You're ready to go swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
You're ready. You're ready to do that. You're ready to get out of the pond.
You came from the ocean. You can go back.
Exactly. You came from this greatness, from this beautiful light. Like, so Ginny and I, we pick a card for our shows and we pick the sacral chakra, the creativity center today. We pick cards, we pick stones, we do all this stuff. And that's what it was about. It was about stepping into your creativity, stepping into, and the sacral chakra is in the reproductive area of our body. So I liken it, a lot of people liken it to that light at birth, that anything is possible. That you are like, you have all of this creativity and all this intelligence and all this knowing and all this spirit and essence, which by the way is my little Shelby's favorite word lately. She's been talking about essence.
Really?
All the time. Essence.
I love her.
She's just my little ball of essence, that little Shelby girl. So anyway, it's taking that. So that's why we clear our chakras so that we can then light that part back up and step into that power.
I need to learn more about chakras because I'm sure mine are all jacked up.
Oh, I might get jacked up on the daily.
Hey, did they have a place to dry clean your chakras? Because I need that shit. But the creative one, like that thought that we were talking about creativity. When you said reproductive, I was like, where is it? I asked Amanda. She said, yeah, it's this chakra. And I'm like, that's great. Where is that? Because I don't know. And she showed me it's in the reproductive, like in your abdomen. Like she was pointing to it. And the thought that, well, yeah, that makes sense. Because if you think about the power, the incredible, miraculous event, actually, of a human life forming from a body, a human, from cells, from all the things that happen. We all know the first part, but the part where they
Birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above.
and then come around, right? But like the cells themselves, right? That's a whole, when you think about it, that's magic. Like that's insane, creating human life. So talking about creativity and the chakra being in that space, that hit me earlier because I was like, well, that makes sense.
It's like divinity of that miraculous creation and the two human beings making the decision to come together to create that. So it's like how these things work together. I say it all the time, big G, little g, big God, little God. We are little gods walking around, and that might sound crazy to some people out there, but if we are the hands and feet, like we talk about, we have that. It's in us.
It is in us, yeah.
Again, I've said this before, Emmanuel, God within us.
Yes.
So we have that power.
We literally,
Yes.
and I mean, it's proven we do. We have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it alone. Some
Yeah,
other people
exactly.
helped us. So we do all have that power. It's literally within us.
Yeah.
And that's unbelievable.
Tapping into that higher essence, that higher spirit, whatever it is out there that you believe in, right? In conjunction with your own personal effort makes you not an imposter. Even if you're pulling from this or pulling from there, you know, I don't want to talk AI because if you're out there writing books fully on AI, you're an imposter. I'm sorry.
First of all, you are a poser. Okay.
Hey, listen, you could say that the thoughts you spoke into the chat GPT was yours originally, but
Right.
the actual writings, I don't know. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm a little
Amanda is a little bit not
testy about this.
about the chat GPT situation or just AI in general, which a
Not
lot of
loving
people
it.
are. You're not alone.
I love
you
it
know?
for like industry and
Yes.
space and medical and all that kind of stuff. But,
Right.
like,
yeah.
the creative side of it worries me a little bit. But anyway,
I get
that's
it.
a different show.
Different show.
But yeah, it's in you. And to call upon that and to give the strength to feel like, you know, God, higher self, spirit, whatever it is, help me to really know and trust that I'm calling on you to help me, but it's still coming forth because of me.
Through me.
Because of
I'm the
my
vehicle. Yeah.
intuition, because of my intelligence, because of my stamina, my desire, because of whatever it is, because we have to take the human and blend it with the spirit, and that's when you get the best creation.
That's right. And because I have the worst, I'm worth this thing. I'm worth this experience. I'm worth it. It's not coming to me for no reason. Like God doesn't make those mistakes, spirit. If you're getting those divine inspirations to do anything, and even if that is, you know what? I know I haven't eaten healthy in the last 5 years, but today I want to change that. Or I have been a stay-at-home mom and I want to go back to work. And I feel like I want to change that. Whatever it is, I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better friend. Whatever the thing is that you're being divinely inspired to do, you are being called to do that thing because you have the capability of doing it.
Yes.
So, and you're not alone.
It wouldn't come to you
It wouldn't come to
if
you.
it wasn't
Yeah.
for you.
That's right. If it
Or at least
wasn't
to
meant
try
for
it
you.
on.
Right. Exactly. At least to try it on. And that you're not alone in doubting. You're not alone in doubting
you're not
this
at
thing
all.
is there. That's why
Serena Williams and Michelle Obama and,
mean,
and Tom Hanks and Albert Einstein are doubting themselves. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, Maya Angelou. I mean, there's a lot of people. Yeah, the Albert Einstein thing. We still to this day, that guy's been gone how long? We're like, oh my gosh, his brilliant mind. They constantly talked about that.
and think about it. Thomas Edison, I think, made like some crazy number. I feel like there's a 6 in there, 96 or 61 or something like that, light bulbs before he actually got it. There are like crazy inventive creators out there who tried and tried and tried and tried and felt, I'm sure, like imposters. Like, what am I trying to do? I can't do this.
Right.
But something in them kept pushing. Something in them kept saying, no, try it again. Try again.
kept being called to.
That is your
called to
calling.
them.
Like we opened it up. Can you sense your calling but feel awkward moving into it? When you might feel awkward moving into it because you don't believe that you have what it takes.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just start.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed.
Yeah, you will be amazed. And the thing is, we need you.
We do.
We need you. Everybody here has something different to bring to this party that we're all here to share in. You have something different than I have. You have something different than Amanda has. And we need what you have to bring. So it's like getting past that doubt part. By the way, thank you for lighting this candle.
Oh yeah. This
Yes.
is for Grandma Chris.
Yes, for Grandma Chris, my Grandma Crisita, who was 94, passed away. We had her services last week, but getting to hear stories about her as this person who grew up in a time where, boy, I in myself, I'm like, there's no way she ever had imposter syndrome with hearing what she did, right? But then hearing my aunt talk about and my uncles, she pushed through it. She pushed through. This lady was in the Air Force.
Yeah. Like 20 years old?
Yes, and she was
In like the 40s? I mean,
Yes.
think about that, people. Put that in perspective.
Yeah, crazy.
A
She was an
female.
air traffic controller of all things, right?
Badass.
Badass. It's like one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Unbelievable.
yes.
Thank you, Cressida. Thank you
Yes, Grandma
for
Chris.
lighting the path for the rest of us.
Yes, exactly. This is a human experience and a human situation. So hopefully and hanging out with us today. We're so glad you are. I think there's a few things we could probably offer, right? Like maybe a challenge.
Yeah, let's write the challenge.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You start. Let's listen to what Amanda has to say, like initially.
So yeah, I was thinking just become like really aware of what it feels like to be misaligned with your worth, with your belief in yourself, with your deserving. When that thing comes in, I challenge you guys often, right, to different shows to sit in it when it comes to you. So
Don't run from it.
yeah. So say, okay, you got to sit in it long enough to identify what it feels like so that the next time it comes, you recognize it quicker.
Yeah.
So like all of the stuff that we talk about, it's not like wham, bam, like we're good. Like I dealt with it and I'm good and I'm never going to feel this way again. No, it's about getting out of it more quickly each time that these things, these negative emotions, feelings crop up. So what does it feel like when you're playing small? What does that feel like in your body? Do you constrict? Do you get warm? Do you get anxiety? Do you just feel kind of uncomfortable and awkward and weird?
Basically, just identifying it even.
Yes, just
identifying it.
Just identify it. And then replace those messages with a new story.
That self-talk too, you guys. I know it might sound a little cheesy, but yeah, man, that's like, replace the story. You're right. It's tell yourself something different. Change the story. Like from whatever it is, you're changing the message from what your brain's telling your body. So you're saying paying attention to your body first to what it feels like.
Yes.
But then change the message of whatever's being said, that self-talk that you tell yourself. Recognize something about why you are worthy to be in this situation.
Yeah, I am no less than Mary,
Right.
walking the white fluffy dog, drinking the shooters out of the tree. Like, I can actually...
Am I hiding my alcohol game? Can be just kidding. Just kidding, Mary. We're not drinking today by the grace of God, Mary. We hope you're not either.
Seriously. But like, so like the flip side of the same coin of ego is feeling better than and also feeling less than. So it's about keeping these egos in check and finding humility and saying, if she can do it, I can do it. I mean, I also remember sitting next to people in rooms of recovery, and it was like, if he can do this, then I can do this. You know what I mean? So like, you are no different. We are not that much unique from each other. Like we're really
not.
like, you out there thinking that you want to write a book? You can do it.
Yes.
I did it.
It was the
If I
coolest
could do it,
thing.
you could do it.
Yes.
Right? If I could get sober, you can.
That's right.
I am no better than you. I am no less than you, and I am no better than you. I am with you. I'm a worker amongst workers.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's why we have successful people. That's why we have creators and artists to then inspire other people to say, if they can do it, then
So
I can. I can
Yep.
do it too. So
That's
you're
exactly
not
right.
an imposter. So feel into that kind of stuff. Feel into when you're feeling small, and then replace it with a new story. And then Ginny had another
Yeah, just a little
challenge.
exercise to do. That especially if you're in the throes of this right now or when it happens, and even just for no reason at all. If it's surrounding, let's say you're working, you decided you want to go back to school for your master's degree, if that's what it is, or and you're in it and you're thinking, I'm never going to make it through this. Spend the next 3 days in a row, at least, and write down 5 black and white facts that you can show yourself the truth about why you deserve this. If it is that you passed a really hard chem test last week, write that down. If it is that you got a chapter written in the book you've been wanting to write that down. If it is that you really have been wanting to start this new business, but you just don't think you're capable, but you did sit down to start your business plan, write that down. Like take 5 things that you can write down that are facts that are going to help shed light on the fact that you absolutely are on the road to where you're supposed to be. And these things are proof of it. So find 5 things for the next 3 days. Write them down on paper so you can see them of your accolades for yourself, the success, the marker, the sign on the road that's telling you you are doing a great job, and here is why. And we don't even have to have the emotion in them. Just find the facts. Find 5 things you're super proud of about what you're doing towards this journey. And even if it is that you sat down for 10 minutes to jot down some ideas, that counts.
Yeah.
So do it.
And then translate that into growing and changing as a person. Say you want to be kinder. Say you want to be more patient. Say you want to be more loving or more compassionate. I'm constantly working on that. That's a constant. I'm trying to become the highest version of myself, which I believe is just unconditional love, no matter what, for myself and for others. And I'm going to be practicing this with jotting down, how am I showing that to people today?
Right.
Have I done that?
Yes.
Am I that? Because I struggle with that sometimes with different things that go on in my life. And I struggle with this ability to show up as the woman that I want to be. right? So we could take this in a strictly like achieving, like
Yeah.
achievable, measured things, like careers and stuff like that. But then you can also translate that into your personal growth
Who you're trying to become.
internally.
And
Yeah.
knowing that
Your
you can
character.
become that. You can become that best version of yourself. And yes,
You could be anything you want. You just have to make that decision that that's what you want to do.
Right.
That's it. It really
And
comes
believe
down
it.
to the decision.
and not doubt it.
the belief.
We're all going to doubt it a little bit, but yeah, and not let yourself stay in this place like what we're talking about, having this imposter syndrome for too long. There's a way it can serve us, and hopefully we can help each other with some tools today on how to not stay there for too long, so we can keep doing this thing, so we can keep rising, you guys. So we
Yeah.
can keep rising.
Yeah, keep rising, your soul rising, keep showing your heart, keep being vulnerable. That's the way that you're going to rise. That's
Yeah.
the way that you're going to rise into all that you were meant to be on this planet. So thank you so
right.
much for being with us today.
So glad you were here. Thank you for coming back. We missed you guys.
We
for
missed you a lot.
few
I know it's been like a month. So thanks for hanging in there with us. Please follow us,
Yes.
share this, talk to your friends about it, leave us a review, please.
Yeah.
Email us at soulrising, solrisingpodcast@gmail.com with any ideas. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, please do so.
Love it. We're going to start having guests.
We're trying to figure all that out. It's been a crazy time of life, like I'm sure it is for you guys too. So,
Guarantee you this.
so thank you so much. We love you guys. We
Dude,
wish
love you
you
guys.
peace. We wish you love. We wish you comfort. And we hope to see you in a couple of weeks.
We love ya. Peace out.
If this podcast resonates with you and you want to dive deeper, check out my blog, Get Real, all in on love, loss, and connection at AmandaMcCoyFlanagan.com. That's McCoy with a K. You can also follow me on Instagram at Amanda McCoy Flanagan.
See you next. Until then, let that soul rise.